Hello, this is the Geek House Show. I'm here with the great Robin Taylor, aka the infamous underdog gangster who made his way to the top, the Penguin.
What's up? Hey, man. Good to see you.
It's nice to have you.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
We're honored to have you as our first guest on the Geek House Show.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much.
This is amazing. So we'll start first and foremost. Congratulations.
Thank
You've made
you.
it to the 5th season.
Yes, we
How
made
does that feel?
100 episodes.
How does that feel?
I'm so proud of this show. I'm so proud of, I'm sure as you know, like just for any show to last more than one season now especially is just such a blessing. And, so the fact that we made it to 100, the fact that we were able to really delve into this story, the story of where Bruce Wayne came from, where the Batman originated, and to bring it all to such a brilliant conclusion. It's just such a gift, and I'm so proud of the work of the actors, the crew, the writers, the producers, everyone. Just amazing.
We're grateful that it made it to the 5th season.
Yes,
with all the cancellation.
we're
all
all
that.
grateful. Totally.
So, how was your stay here, and how is this experience for you?
It's just been so fantastic. My eyes are so much more open just to the world, to the human experience, being here in Kuwait. I can say that, I didn't know what to expect, which you can't, you really can't trust what you see in the media about anywhere in the world. But, I just have to say that the people, the culture here, it's inviting, it's warm. I felt welcomed, I felt accepted, and I can't wait to come back.
Yeah. That's part of the whole geek and pop culture thing. Mm-hmm. It brings people together.
Well, yes, and I would say too, it's amazing. I've done Comic-Cons, all over the world, and the most amazing thing is how this environment, this culture, the culture that's built around this world is universal. It's like I meet people everywhere, and everyone around the world shares this love in the same way, and they express themselves about it in the same way. And for the fact that really we're coming here to celebrate art, I think is such a beautiful, beautiful thing. And that we celebrate it here in Kuwait, we celebrate it in China, we celebrate it everywhere. It's amazing. It really builds a community all around the world. It's so flattering and so lovely to be a part of that in my own small way.
And we are honored to have you here, sir.
Thank you, my friend.
So let's dive into it,
Yes, please.
So growing up, were you familiar with the character, the Penguin?
I was, actually, yeah. When I grew up, one of the first movies I remember, I grew up in a very small town in America. I'm from Iowa, which is right in the middle, farm country.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it definitely is. But it's very small. And I remember when the original Batman came out with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson, the Tim Burton film. It was the first time that I had seen people lining up outside for a movie. I'd never seen that before, and just and that stayed with me. And of course, having seen the movie, that stayed with me as well. And so, of course, when Batman Returns came out with Danny DeVito as the Penguin, I think I had seen that movie in my life. I've seen that movie over 100 times.
Same here.
And so, of course,
best Christmas movie.
Yes, exactly. I say that often.
Oh yeah.
And so the Penguin, because of that, I knew about it, and it stayed with me as well because of Danny DeVito's incredible performance.
Speaking of Danny DeVito, did you feel that you were pressured in some sort of way to step into the shoes of Danny DeVito?
We always knew we were doing something different than what had come before, but having now being only the third person to bring Penguin to life on screen and following in the footsteps of Danny, no one on the Gotham team pressured me at all, but my own pressure, having grown up with Batman Returns and knowing how brilliant Danny is and continues to be. Yeah, there's a little bit of pressure
yeah,
that
yeah.
definitely, was self-created.
But it's a beautiful way, the way you portrayed the character.
Thank you very much.
It's completely different. And although we do see elements of Tim Burton,
Mm-hmm.
the whole darkness and the gothic theme throughout the whole show.
Yeah.
And I think it's just beautiful.
Yeah, we're really trying to find in the show. We really tried, and I think we succeeded. Finding some sort of in between, the Tim Burton world and the Chris Nolan world, like a more, a more fantastical version, like of Tim Burton, and then there's the gritty, realistic version or vision of Chris Nolan. We wanted to find something in between there.
This
and
balance, the common ground between
between like
verses.
the over the top, comic book elements, and then also the reality, like the real human emotion that these characters are going through. That was our goal, and I think we got there. That's one of the things I'm most proud of the show.
Goal achieved, I'd say.
Thank you.
How did you prepare for the character? How did you manage to channel this inner penguin in you, and the voice and the movement in terms of voice and move? Because throughout the games and in the comics as well, he has an Australian to an English accent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you went with the American one. How did that came to happen?
I really honestly can't take credit for it. I give all credit to the creators of the show, our executive producers, Danny Cannon and Bruno Heller, and John Stevens, and all of our amazing writers. It was really, they wrote the words, and for me, the inspiration comes from the words itself. I having been trained in university to be an actor, I was always taught that, or at least when I approach a character, I approach it from what the words say, and and it was all there on the page in front of me. And it was interesting, when I auditioned, I didn't know what I was auditioning for. They didn't tell us that it was Gotham. They didn't tell us that it was the prequel to Batman. They didn't tell me I was auditioning for the Penguin. They wrote a fake scene with fake character names.
Wow.
And they just gave that to us, and then we went in and auditioned. So I approached the text as I would anything else, and I made my choices in that way. And it's the first time in my entire career when I walked out of that audition and I was like, I think I hit on something that they were looking for. And it turns out all of my innate choices were spot on. So it really, I don't know if it's, if it was fate or if it was, it just all fell into place in the most beautiful way. I mean, I often think that, when something is destined to happen, it happens so easily. There's no forcing of it. It is what it was always supposed to be.
The universe just comes together and just chooses you.
It really feels like that, and I just feel so lucky because of that.
Speaking of which, were there moments where you shared personal connection with a character?
There were, actually. I mean, I will say, I've told this story before, but there were some, there were some very strange coincidences that happened to me when we were shooting the show. In season 2, Penguin meets his father, who is played by the incomparable Paul Rubens. And Paul Rubens also played Penguin's father in Batman Returns. It's the only crossover that we had between the cinematic universe and our show, which is just, and the fact that it involved my character in this in any way was just amazing.
That was amazing for us. It's an amazing cameo.
Right, and also Paul is just, he's become such a dear friend, and I idolized Pee Wee Herman growing up. I mean, that was my favorite thing to watch on Saturday mornings.
This over the top and crazy, flamboyant character.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But strangely enough, in season 2, he meets his father, and his father dies. When Penguin's father dies, when we were shooting that stuff in season 2, my own father died, and it was this very intense moment where I can't really explain, where reality and what we were doing on screen came together, and they gave me the option of leaving and going home, but I wasn't going to be able to leave to go home until the next day, and we were shooting the scenes where the father is dying, and I had to be there and do it. It was like the universe, again, had given me something, and it, in a weird way, when do you... It immortalized one of the most difficult moments in my life, but the fact that I could take something so heartbreaking and so horrible and make something beautiful out of it.
Yeah.
I had to take that opportunity. And, it's the one episode that I will never watch, that I will never ever see, because I just want to remember it for as it was in my head. I don't want to see how it turned out, but I know that that's also my favorite episode because of that. It's my favorite episode of the entire 5 seasons. It's the episode that I will never see.
It's almost as a method approach when it comes to acting.
I know, and
well.
I'm not a method actor.
Yeah,
It's like the universe was saying, okay, you're a method actor now.
Oh, yeah, you just channel all that pain and hate into that moment.
Yeah.
It's just this amazing relief.
It was
just
really
happens.
crazy. Yeah, really crazy.
Amazing. So, that was the most challenging scene you've ever had.
Yeah, I mean, I would say. I mean, it was, I don't know. It's hard to say if it was. It was challenging
in terms of emotion.
Right, but at the same time, there was something guiding me. There was something. It was challenging, and yet it wasn't. I mean, I will also say, some of the other most challenging scenes. I would say all of the hardest scenes I ever really had to shoot, besides that one, were scenes where Penguin himself had to kill another person, because from the actor's standpoint, we know Penguin kills a lot of people on the show. But from the actor's standpoint, what I'm doing in that moment is that, having been a working actor, for many years before Gotham, and, small parts here and small parts there, it's heartbreaking, because what I'm doing is I'm ending that person's journey on our show. And that was always very difficult, because I'm saying goodbye to my friend in that moment as well. That's the real tough stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So much emotions, and I never knew those things were going on behind the scenes. You make it look really easy. That's the thing. You really do.
Thanks, man.
Assume the mantle perfectly. It fits you.
Thank you, my friend.
Is there any favorite comic book movie that's recent?
That's recent.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say, of course, Batman and Batman Returns, the 2 Tim Burton movies, are the closest to my heart, because, again, I was a child when they came out, and they influenced me and showed me this world, and introduced me to Batman.
Paved the way.
To that story. And so, so I would say those are my favorites. But I do also have to say that, all of us are following the footsteps of Heath Ledger, who I believe his performance,
groundbreaking performance
as the Joker, just really, it changed the entire game. It showed us that even though these are larger than life characters that are supervillains, and they're can be very over the top, he found a way to ground it in a real emotion. And when I saw that, I definitely was there's so much of that influences my performance on Gotham, from Heath Ledger. So I would say that
speaks volumes. It really does. So, future projects. Any future projects?
I've
read a couple of stuff that are really exciting.
I have a small role in John Wick 3, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
What an amazing franchise to be a part of, and also just what an amazing creative team. The directors, the writers, the stunt coordinators of those movies, are just, the best of the best. And,
it really is.
that I even got, it's a very small part, but that I just got to be part of that world,
of course,
as well, is amazing. So that'll be coming out soon. And then, there's other stuff that, we're waiting to see, so I don't want to say.
I read about something, though. No spoilers, nothing.
Okay.
But there was a movie, you star alongside James Franco and Ashton Kutcher.
Yes, that was an indie that I shot a couple years ago.
Indie movies best.
But that's the thing about indies, is that, this is why I don't say too much about them, because, you can shoot, and it's happened to me before, where I've been on a film and then you never know when it's coming out or if it ever will. So, we'll see. Maybe that'll come out, but there's that. And then, right now it's amazing. I feel like I've been given a gift with Gotham, in that it's the first time in my entire career that I go forward with just pure creativity in mind. I don't have to go forward with fear of not being able to pay my rent, of fear of, of not being able to get health insurance. You know, it's just, I'm going forward just from a pure creative standpoint, and it just feels so amazing.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
your
my
time.
friend.
And
Thank you,
we'd
everyone.
like to thank EGComfest for the
Yes.
opportunity, and thank you again so much for your
Thank
time.
you,
Really
man.
appreciate it.
Cheers. Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, also,
Yes.
from the Geek House show, we did this Arabic
Oh my gosh.
calligraphy. My sister made it. So, yeah, this is your name in Arabic.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, amazing.
Arabic calligraphy. Yeah.
That is so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Something
You-
us to remember us by.
That is so gorgeous. It's funny, like I've been around in Kuwait, and I went to the avenues, the mall, and really all I want is something purely Arabic.
Oh,
This is the
I
first
had
thing
a
that
feeling.
have.
I had a
This
feeling.
is the first thing I've
Yeah.
gotten. I can't thank you so much. Brilliant.
Well, it's nothing. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. You
you.
really made our day and our weekend, really.
Mine
It's a
too.
great start for the new year.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much for your time.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.
All right. Awesome.